Good morning. This is Samuel Jacob Kirschner, Voice of the Breeze, welcoming you to our Saturday morning Artists of Living meditation hangout. I'd like to start this morning with playing a song by Stevie Wonder, Joy Inside My Tears.
I've always come to the conclusion that God is the way. Asking for permission to lay something heavy on one.
So, while listening to the song, we can multitask. We can pay attention also to our breath and align the breath, the rhythm of the breath, with the rhythm of the song, the music. In other words, for the breath, for your breathing, and for the rhythm of the music to be one. And that paying of attention in by itself is meditation. So you see, I've come to that really through my personal experience of 40 years of pretty much investigating, observing, examining pretty much that which I would call the frenetic, stressful rhythm of life, of living. I have a hunch that most of the time, especially nowadays, we live in that stressful rhythm, which is a very fast rhythm. It pretty much goes together with the thinking, with our thinking. And if our thinking is fear based, anxiety ridden, stressful, it can't but be adrenalized by the mechanisms in the brain that are trying to support that pace, that kind of rhythm. And I don't have to tell you that that rhythm, although sometimes, it has its benefits, um, it can be very taxing, it can be very toxic. And so, in a sense, meditation, one of the many, many aspects of meditation, is paying attention to the breath and becoming one with the breath, slowing down the breathing, and paying attention in by itself means opening the heart. In Hebrew, it literally means to put your heart, to pay attention, lasim lev. So here we are doing really a couple of things at once while listening to the song in the background and to our many, many thoughts, also called chatter, going on. Very subtle. It becomes very subtle eventually, paying attention to the rhythm of the breath, opening the heart to the breath, and bringing it to one with the rhythm of the music. And that produces normally a calm joy, a simple joy of being alive. And this joy, I cannot live without. I'm very clear about that. And mostly the work that I've been doing for quite some time attracts people who can also recognize that their life without joy, that simple joy, joie de vivre, that simple joy of living, is just not worth living. Um, and I'm not saying that everybody has to feel that way, but my hunch is that this is part of our nature. This is part of how we were born. I think we were born with that joy. You see babies and they have that joy. They don't much think. They really can access that joy, and there's nothing more beautiful, humbling, disarming, innocent than that joy. And at this point in my life, I am ready to not only speak about it, but walk the talk, walk my own talk. And what does that mean? Walk my talk. So, talk is, there's so many words going around these days. There are so many words. We live at a time which I think there haven't been so many words spoken and thought and exchanged ever before. Also, because technologically we are now, if you have anything to say, you can post it. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. But my question, and I always ask these questions of myself first, because otherwise that's not walking the talk. So, walking the talk is really, am I willing to ask myself the same question that I'm asking, say, the president elect? Or if right now he is elected, I would like to ask him, you know, are you examining your words before you put them on Twitter or you speak them? I mean, I know that no doubt he is surrounded by knowledgeable people who counsel him on how to speak. But sometimes I'm really wondering, and this is putting it mildly, I'm not going to lie to you, what is the process that you are going through before you tweet and before you speak? And it's a question, really, I don't only want to place to the president. I would like to place it to everybody living in the world today. I think it's such an important question. Are you examining your thoughts, your knee jerk reactive thoughts that often are just really a bunch of garbage? They're negative, they're fear based, they come from trauma and from old hurt. And there's a part in the brain that just keeps spewing them. And it just looks for any occasion that comes up that triggers that, the unsafety, the feeling of unsafety. And then comes the barrage of thoughts, of words. And some of these words are, to say the least, hurtful, damaging, negative, toxic, poisonous. So, um, I am not going to make my. I'm not here to. At this point, I've had enough my reactivity. I also have that part of me that is very reactive. You know, I have feelings when I hear about a woman in Texas that last week she was here for 20 years from Mexico, and with two children. She came here when she was 16, and she's now, I believe, 36. She has two children and a husband. She is a good citizen. She looks like a decent person. And last week, she was deported because of the new creeds in the nation. And I cannot not feel what I'm feeling. And I trust those feelings. There's something horrendous about this. And I can put myself in that situation because I wasn't born here. I too came here from another country as an adult already. And who knows? However, however, I don't stay there. My reaction comes with a barrage of words, and some of them are hateful. So I react to what I deem hateful by hating myself. And yes, hating myself, I recognize that that kind of emotional barrage eventually kills my joy. And so I am engaged in hating myself. Is that what I want? Do I want to hate myself because of what I deem hateful acts? Absolutely not. That is why I so believe and so cherish my practice of meditation that I developed called the breeze, in which I'm at all times willing and ready to examine my reaction. Sometimes I forget. Absolutely, I'm human. And when I forget, I try to breathe compassion to forgetting because I'm not perfect and I'm not supposed to be perfect, and it's okay. However, this whole process is a very juicy and revitalizing process. Just that willingness to pay attention to when we start to react from the left brain, from that trauma based negative struggling voice, um, and examine it. Examine it, meaning pay attention to it, breathe, engage the breath. Just asking the breath, opening the heart to the breath is enough. It shifts and transforms the negativity into, as I would say, love, into soul, into breath. So we are here engaged in rewiring our brain from stress to breath, from fear to love, from ego to soul. I can't think of anything more rewarding than that, especially if you are a person who has known the hell of deep suffering and pain that are unbearable. So this week was a very interesting week. Um, First of all, it snowed on Thursday, and I love snow, and I'm delighted by snow. So when the snow came, and I'm like so concerned that there's not going to be enough snow this winter because on Wednesday it was 61 degrees, and then all of a sudden on Thursday there is this blizzard of snow. So of course, knee-jerk reaction says like global warming, climate change, yada yada yada. And on top of it, I came down with a cold, and I I was paying attention in that way, paying attention particularly to my killjoy thoughts, my killjoy feelings, that, do I have to suggest what you can think, even when you have a simple cold, maybe not everybody goes to that extent of drama, but I always do. And so I was constantly engaging my breath and flowing in the pace of the breath, opening my heart to the breath and coming back to the present moment and to my joy. You can be joyful and have a cold. Remember, it's a simple joy of just living. So I was alive. And then part of what I decided to do was go up to my roof, which is covered with snow, and I shot a video of the 5 steps of the breeze. And that video is now on YouTube, and uh, you can watch it. If you're on Facebook, there's a link to it. If not, it's called Walking the Talk with the 5 steps of the breeze. So walking the talk in that respect was that I didn't just think about my life while having the cold and having the snow going and having everything else going around me, all the news that you cannot stop hearing, and it's screaming from all over the place. And wherever I go, that seems to be the conversation du jour, is the situation. So walking the talk is actually willing to move my ass and move my body, open my heart, breathe, end up dancing, connecting to my original self. My original self is the self that was born joyful. Connect to my original self and change my energy, transform my energy. And the difference is so remarkable, so remarkable. So perhaps this would be a good time to do a little meditation, little breathing. Open the heart to the breath and celebrate being alive right now. So if you are seated as I am right now, you can do everything, by the way. You can do it without moving. You can visualize it, but if you want to move, and I will do some minimal movements, it's really all about paying attention. It's about that decision to pay attention right now. It's a deliberate paying of attention to your energy, to yourself. It's taking care of yourself. So I will play the tape here, this track, so you can join in. Breathe love with the 5 steps of the breeze. Pay attention to your breath. Slow it down, breathing in on the higher chime and out
on the lower child. Be one with the breath. Shake and awake your numbness and disconnect. Feel the breath in your body and breathe with ease. Flow like a river and let go. Align your breathing and moving with the music and let go of struggle. Stand like a tree and make space. Open your heart to the breath and allow it to heal and wash clear constrictions, pains, fears, and struggles. Walk with grace. Walk the talk. Be present. Find your authentic pace and discover your original self, moment by moment, breath by breath. Dance and celebrate. Breathing love, the joy you were born with, your original self.
Okay. So, dare I ask you, how do you feel? Do you feel the joy of living, joie de vivre, just being alive, for no reason other than that? You feel more present, more connected with your original self, and calmer too. It's a calm joy. It's not like going out of your mind kind of joy. It's a mindful joy. So it has calmness about it too. So if I'm addicted to anything in life, I'm addicted to that joy, and it's a good addiction. I I deem it a good addiction, but I know that my whole life that's the kind that's what I've been looking for my whole life. That's what I'm looking for, is to feel that joy, because once I feel that joy, everything else falls to place. And once I lose it, and it gets lost all the time, because there is a lot of killjoys around us and inside, absolutely. So, since I'm responsible for my life and I'm an artist of living, that's the kind of artistry that I'm engaged in, is to always try and come back to that joy, the juice, the luxure, the jeunesse, the luxure of life. I do this work with, yeah, quite a range of people. My favorite this year has been working with refugees. Um, I In October I went. I mean, that's last year. In October 2016, I went with a team, with a group of people to Berlin, and we did this work with refugees from the Middle East. And it's so rewarding to see when a person is really down to their last energy, and are capable to rediscover that joy, reconnect to it. So that's so rewarding. And I work with kids and with families and with men and women and of all religions, colors. I think it's something that's very connecting of all of us. And I'm looking these days for things we can trust more than anything else, that we can keep come back to and really take care of ourselves. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, in a sense, we just give in to the negativity that we are fighting. And it's so important to take care of yourself and to be the change you want to see first in yourself, to walk your talk. So this week, I have to look at my notes here because I'm not so good at remembering exactly how that works. And Jeremy, bless his soul, is so good at it. So you can join me for 30 minutes every Saturday morning for this Breathing Love retreat, where I will broadcast a live streamed meditation. Breathe Love, cultivate the skill of attention. And then you can take it back with you. So and continue to share your stories. If you have any stories and experiences with me and with the community, we are a community of people who are artists of living, and that's what we do. So if you want to find out more about that, and if you yourself would like to practice this week simply paying attention to your breath, especially when stress, anxiety, negativity, and struggle come up for you. And I am going to gift you a soundtrack, and that soundtrack will be available to you. It will be the soundtrack that I just played here, and you can play it for yourself and use it to pay attention. And in order to get the soundtrack, you will need to send me an email to Samuel at living, I'm sorry, Samuel at thebreeze.com. So again, please send me an email if you'd like that soundtrack to Samuel at thebreeze, breaze.com. You can also go to our website, thebreeze.com, and there's a way in which you will be prompted to take the steps to get the soundtrack. So it looks like it's that time of saying adieu and goodbye and inshallah and hitraot. So this is Samuel Jacob Kirshner, voice of the breeze, wishing you a day filled with joy, oxygen, and ease. Take care of yourself.